There's a David Goggins quote, "It's so easy to be great nowadays because most of the world is weak." And whilst this guy often operates on the extreme, I believe there is truth in this quote, especially when it comes to dating. Because in modern dating, everyone is frustrated and unsatisfied, which leaves humongous opportunity for men because the bar has never been lower and it's never been easier to get ahead of 99% of men. And I should know because I went from being that loser who couldn't do well in dating, never got any girls, and I realized it was only about 5 habits that needed to be changed in order to completely transform my dating. So I did this, and now I help other guys do exactly this. And I'm gonna run them through with you today. And I've broken them into 3 categories: body, mind, and soul. So the first category of body is the transformation that I did, and I've seen time and time again, comes down to only 2 shifts that you can do in your life, and that's super easy. The first one, I swear, is push-ups. This might sound like a simple throwaway thing. You think you need this big split of going to the gym, doing legs, doing all this stuff. Like, sure, all that helps. I'm not here to disregard any of that. But if you're wanting to just get ahead of most people, well, most people do nothing. And I figured out simply doing push-ups is enough to build quite an attractive physique because it accentuates your golden ratio, which in men is the waist to shoulders ratio. This is vitally important. And I've literally got clients doing this time and time again, going through this process of just pushing themselves to like max rep on push-ups twice a day. I had a guy that has put on 1 kilo of muscle in just a couple of weeks from doing this. It is incredible. Like, guys get in shape time and time again, and we think we need something massive, but it isn't the case. So push-ups are such an easy way in because you can do them anywhere. It's super easy. It's super easy to do that. And you can do it from anywhere where you are, which is what I really love about this. It's what allowed me to transform and allowed others to do it as well. Secondly, on your body, all you have to do is cut out the snacky crap. You do not need to have some perfect diet. I'm telling you, it just isn't necessary. Like, all I do is avoid the kind of like hyper high sugar stuff that's all like artificial and trashy, crisps, sweets, unnecessarily chocolate. I have like 85% plus dark chocolate. And I just try and hit this with regularity of just being like, you can eat whatever you want. Like, I eat burgers all the time. I think they're great. And that is like a regular meal for me. And I have no problems. Being in shape and essentially having like abs is not as hard as we'd expect. It all just comes down to you being able to cut out the real worst elements of it. And if you look at your diet, there's gonna be those times when you're having, I'd put alcohol into this category as well. So it's just like avoiding alcohol and snacky crap, and then you're good. This is what I get them to do, just like push-ups and avoid any sort of snacky craps and alcohol. You'll do fine. Like, you will actually get ahead of 99% of men. Will you get an Olympic athlete physique? No. Are there better ways to do it to get an ultimate physique? Probably, but in terms of efficiency, 2 habits to be able to get a physique that is genuinely attractive, one you're proud of, that people give you compliments on, I'd take that. So, next one, that is working on your mind. So we're only 2 habits down, 3 to go. So, within your mind, I break it down to this. The 2 habits that are essential is, firstly, we gotta get rid of the doom scrolling. Like, it has so many bad repercussions, and this is the one that I really do work to make sure clients try and restrict out of their life, because it's just the vacuum of time that goes into just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling on Instagram. Because have you ever tried to concentrate and be motivated after being on Instagram? I can't speak to TikTok. I've never gone near the thing because I'm terrified of what would happen if I went on TikTok. If that motherfucker learns what I like to see in an algorithm, it's game over. You'll see 1 video upload every fucking 2 months. I'm not getting involved. So, like, as you can see, I've drawn a firm line. But I have got Instagram, and I've occasionally found myself being caught in that trap where it's like you just go on Reels and you scroll through it for a little bit and then try and do any other activity, and your attention span is just fucked. You can't do anything. And this is so bad because it steals so much time from you. And on top of that, I appreciate right now we are engaging with each other through YouTube. But I love YouTube. Don't get me wrong. Like, no doubt I'm about to shit on YouTube a bit. They can just ban the video. But like, YouTube is my vice. It's the thing that calls out to me the most. So I figured out the rule that I needed to be able to get away from that was that I can't watch YouTube on my phone. I can go on my laptop because I figured out I don't end up in like 2-hour deep rabbit holes looking at why The Dark Knight Rises is actually a spectacular movie, and it's like stuff like that. Because you lose so much time and it's so unnecessary. Use YouTube like a search engine. YouTube is the most powerful thing ever if you're using it just to search out solutions and find answers to questions that you want to hear. But as soon as you take the passive role and you allow it to serve stuff up to you in the algorithm, then it always turns out to just be mindless scrolling. When you're agentic, you're on the front foot, you're searching. I think it's one of the best things ever. When you're looking to uncover just like questions you have, find solutions, understand how to meet women, how to date, understand how to dress yourself. Like, oh my God, YouTube is such a powerful tool. But as soon as it just becomes, well, this new video about fucking Yu-Gi-Oh from back in the day, let's go for that. Like, let's have a watch of that. Like, it's such a nightmare. So cut out the doom scrolling. It'll sort your mind out because you'll be able to focus on things in the real world. And that time can get given to your second habit. Pick one hobby. Don't mind what it is. Pottery, badminton, tennis, whatever you like. Just like, pick one hobby. This is so essential and it will put you ahead of 99% of dudes. I do put the caveat as like, not gym. Gym doesn't count. It's become the sort of like cliched bro hobby, and I think it just it lacks a bit of community, if I'm honest. As much as there's some community, especially maybe CrossFit kind of counts, but when it's just like I go to the gym, I bench and then I come back, it doesn't seem to have the same impact. Like, it's healthy, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm just waiting for the onslaught of gym bros coming for me now. I go to the gym, okay? Like, it's fine, but it doesn't count as sort of like a true interest and hobby, one where you can talk about it, do things, have a community. For me, the one hobby that I picked that really helped me a lot was running. Like, I actually love, I have kind of like messed up body proportions where I have this like tiny torso and quite long legs. So it makes me quite good at running. And because of that, I ended up finding all of these running communities. I go to races with friends and organize and go to like literally booking hotels, doing this stuff. And like, it's just such a good group hobby activity. And it's something that I really connect with. And it just makes you more attractive because it means you don't just default to the girl. It makes you less needy because you have something in your life you're genuinely interested in. Having just one hobby is essential. So there are 4 habits, and honestly, like, you're crushing it. You get all these 4, like, there's gonna be people watching this where they're like, oh, these sound so simple. I've heard this before. Well, I love this quote, so slam this one into your brain. We need to be reminded a lot more than we need to be taught. Okay? You've already had all the information you need. You just need to have it like knocked into you a little bit more. Like, I've listened to the same Jordan Peterson stuff on repeat for like a bunch of years because I know I need to be reminded of it. I know I can forget. So it's super important. One of the other things that I think guys always need to come back to, the number 1 habit for your soul, because we haven't got one for this one. I only came up with one, all right? You only need one. So, the thing that will save your soul, that will transform it, it's the thing that changed my life more than anything else in the world, is that I started the habit of telling the truth. And yes, you can probably see the Jordan Peterson influence here. And that is because it is true. The amount of times he's had people come up to him in real life and tell him that, oh, I started telling the truth and my life got so much better. Like, I'd be that person. I did actually meet him and he was brilliant. But that is what it takes now, of just being the guy that's willing to tell the truth. And I'll tell you why it was so important to me, because I was that kid that was pretty badly bullied growing up. And because I'm quite like naturally agreeable as well, like I'd always put other people's needs above my own. I'd want that connection and validation from others, but I was being bullied. And it just made me kind of be this person that would lie, falsify what he thought was interesting for kind of any sense of connection from others, because everyone was mean. And all that did was eventually leave me being kind of devastated of not knowing who I was, because I lied about it. You speak who you are into being. So if you lie long enough, you kind of muddy the waters of who you even are. Like, if you tell everyone in the world that you're a really great swimmer when you can't actually swim, say it long enough, you'll start to kind of believe that. And that's fine up until you're on a boat at sea with a bunch of people and they think they need you to go save somebody, or you're the one drowning. And that's like a big scale version of it, but that's what happens quite a lot on a mini scale, that we just lie and muddy and confuse who we really are in the world. And because of that, we just feel weak in character. We lie. Another time that it helped me so much was, if you say that you're going to start telling the truth, it forces your actions to align with the truth. So the whole reason I'm speaking to you right now is like, there's another timeline of me who stayed in his finance job. That's what I trained as. That's what I did for a bunch of years. But I'd started to tell the truth. And it came to one birthday that was coming up, and people around asked me, "Oh, how's work going?" And I was this close to giving that default response of just like, yeah, work's fine, conversation moves on. But I'd started telling the truth, and I'd really sort of like got into my head, like, I should tell the truth here. And I was like, you know what? It actually sucks. I actually hate it. I spend a bunch of the day with my head on the desk, just not wanting to be there, not wanting to do this job. And that night was the first night I realized I had to quit. I had to do something new. And I never would have realized that, because I spoke it out. I realized myself of how badly, because I'd been hiding from the fact of how much I disliked my job, because I'd been planning an entire fucking livelihood around being in finance. I'd been doing it for nearly a decade. So like, it was quite the shock to me when I realized just how badly I hated it. And it came from the fact that I told the truth. Then after that, it led into a whole spiral of things, which got me to the point where I am now, where I do the job that I truly, truly adore, helping men go through the same journey that I went through and break free. But it doesn't happen if we lie to ourselves. We don't understand who we are, and it leaves us flawed but blind to our flaws. And this is how you correct your soul. It is a habit that is totally necessary if you want to be the guy that is in front of 99% of people. And it just comes down to learning to tell the truth, and at least not lying, because sometimes it's hard to tell the truth, because who knows what the fucking truth is sometimes. It's complicated. But we all know when we lie, and you can feel it somewhere like here in your gut. You can tell when you're saying something that isn't true. And it's starting to move away from that, moving to something closer to the truth. And women, they find it attractive as hell, because every guy is out there trying to lie to her. Every guy has been trying to manipulate her for that short-term gain for like since she was fucking a child. Like, it's always happened. So then when they come across a guy that's willing to tell her the truth, that's willing to tell her what he genuinely thinks of her outfits when she asks, like, it's such a micro scale of it. But one of the things my girlfriend really values is my opinion on her outfits, because she knows I'll tell her the truth. I've been quite harsh occasionally when I'm just like, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. She wears some like leather jacket, and I call it a Matrix jacket because I just don't like it at all. It's like hyper masculine. It's like, she dresses great usually, but I'm just not a fan. But because of that, I'm willing to tell the truth. She really loves it when I compliment something, because she knows it's the truth. Like, this is the thing that will save your soul. It will change your life if you're able to simply tell the truth. So these are the 5 habits that will begin to completely change your life. And if you're struggling with the idea of telling the truth, it comes down to one emotion that's getting in the way. And I call it the most dangerous, most toxic emotion for men, and it will always keep you single and trapped if you don't overcome it. So if you're wanting to be the guy that gets the girl of his dreams, then check out this video here where I discuss the most toxic emotion for men and what you can do to avoid it.